Here's our 22 pages of
Okay.
the petition. There's
Right.
hundreds of signatures
I see that.
of people from the 6th district.
Okay.
And we want Representative Dicks to do everything he can to be sure that Bush is blocked from attacking Iran.
Well, I am quite sure that Mr. Dicks does not want to go into Iran either. So.
Yeah, but we've also been hearing for the last 7 years that he can't get anything done. He just shrugs his shoulders and said, gee, it's hard in D.C. right now. And we're really tired of hearing that. We want him to have a backbone and we want him to stand up and really do something. You know, we knew that he was being lied to before the Iraq War started. And we met with him many, many times at his Bremerton office, and he came to Port Townsend and he met with people there. And even when he finally admitted that he had been lied to about the Iraq War, he still wouldn't come public until he stood with John Murtha last year, 2 years ago, and finally said, yeah, that they messed with the intelligence. All he did was yell at us and say that he knew things that were, you know, secret, that we didn't know, and that we were unintelligent people. And he was extremely rude to us. And I don't want to go down that road again. He carries a lot of weight in D.C., and it's very important that he really makes sure that we don't get fooled again and that we don't go down the same road.
Okay.
So doing his best when he's been whining to us about how hard it is to do anything isn't enough for us anymore. We need him to really stand up and push with all his might. Our military is stressed out. I have a nephew who's been in Ramadi for 18 months. He only got a 7-month break, and now he's in Bosnia. There aren't enough soldiers to go into another country. And bombing Iran, which is what I hear the plan is, because we don't have enough soldiers, is not going to make things any better. We're just going to open up such a kettle of worms in the Mideast that it's going to ruin us. We can't afford this. Our military is too stressed. And we have to stop this craziness.
It seems, too, that our president can't pay attention to what his own intelligence estimates are putting out there. And at this point, they've already disclaimed what was known before or thought before, that Iran is going to bring on World War III. And it's not just time to consider whether or not we're going into Iran or not going into Iran. It's time to impeach this president. If we have to bring this government to a halt, you know, and stop everything, we are building an enormous debt for our children. We are creating a medical mess out of the use of depleted uranium and the unfairness of the way our troops are being treated when they come back. We have over 20,000 soldiers, men and women who put their lives on the line, whose lives will never be the same for the rest of their life. And if we can't see courage on the House floor to impeach these people who have lied to us and have been following a policy set out by a neoconservative organization known as the Project for a New American Century. And if you'll, this is the most important page on their Statement of Principles. The names on here have been involved in the cabinet at the highest level. And this right here is their document that was put out in September of 2000, before Bush was even elected. And on the last page are more names of people who have supported this administration and its neoconservative policies and have had this whole Middle East thing. If you read this document, the Middle East is brought up time and time again, 90 pages. 90 pages of, you know, America must rebuild its defenses and dominate the rest of the world. This is why we don't have any support in Iraq right now. This is why we've got people who are totally afraid in our own nation that we're going to be bombing Iran. I'm a Nam vet. Every time we grant some or start some ground war, I have to revisit what I went through. And I have a brother here who was over there as well. And it's just, it's unconscionable that Norm Dicks, who has never been to war, will not listen to people like us who have been to war and are saying this is not good for our sons and daughters, this is not good for our nation, it's not good for our economy. We have health care issues, we have senior issues, we have issues that far supersede going in and attacking a country that did not attack us. I think everyone in this room, including yourself, would pick up sticks and stones if our nation was invaded. So we're not afraid to fight. But we've lost our moral high ground. And it's unbelievable that Norm Dicks is just saying there's nothing we can do. That Nancy Pelosi is saying it's off the table. Impeachment is off the table. These people need to be impeached.
You do know that the congressman did vote to send the impeachment proceedings to the judiciary. He did support that.
And a number of others did. So where is it now?
He did not sign the resolution.
He did not sign the resolution.
To point out that the collapse of the USSR was directly from deficit spending tied in with the war in Afghanistan at that time and trying to keep up military spending against Star Wars. No more USSR. But the main point I wanted to say is make here is that I would like you to convey to Congressman Dicks this internet posting that shows U.S. spending compared to the rest of the planet, and we call that defense spending. I think any moron can look at that and see where we're going. You might enjoy my American peace symbol with a B-52 in it. Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, observes that a wolf is loose upon the world. Look it up on the internet. And that wolf knows who to attack. The weak nations. The nations that cannot fight back. Any student of history could see that the ramp up to the war in Iraq was pure propaganda.
I was here 5 years ago with a group in this very room in which we begged Congressman Dicks not to give Bush a blank check on Iraq. And so we, as you pointed out, we were assured that he knew things we didn't know and so forth and so on. But the point is, here we are 5 years back, same room, same place, same problem, except now it's a different country.
And the other thing is about this being off the table and saying that it's going to take up too much time if they get caught up in impeachment hearings. They're not getting anything done. The Republicans are blocking them. The president is vetoing them. They're not getting anything accomplished. So they might as well show some backbone and really do something.
That's a good point.
Well,
I'd like to say
I was a little disappointed that he voted to give the blank check again the other day, given in the defense appropriation bill.
In terms of the
In terms of giving any money at all to the Iraqis.
Okay, I'll pass that on.
I'd like to add this, that my name is Roland Griffith. I spent 6 years in the Army and was in France and Germany. People were getting killed right and left. Everybody said you're fighting to preserve democracy. Is this what I was fighting for? I don't think so. The U.S. Congress, which has a 21% approval rating from the public, something is terribly wrong. This is the time when Dicks and Pelosi, who I have lost all respect for, but this is the time when some prominent members of Congress, or ones that aren't so prominent, can become prominent and take a position and try to regain some of that 79% of the public that they've lost along the way. They're worried about themselves. Now, I haven't followed Dicks's actions and some of these things, but I've watched what a couple of Democratic senators have done. It's disgusting. This is the time for Dicks to get up on his hind feet and say, hey, I'm going to stop this.
We are fighting for their pleasures and for their lifestyle. We're not fighting for our lifestyles. We're not fighting for the little guy.